distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Assalamu alaikum. I'm happy to join you today at the end of this training workshop or seminar, whatever it was, and interact with this team of administrators from the field. We are now, as a county, 1 year old in office, and we have spent that year putting in place the various structures of this government, which is expected to serve the people of this county. And as administrators, you play a very important role at the grassroots. As a service delivery organization or government, ours is to reach every corner of this county. Unfortunately, we are very heavy at the county level in the headquarters here, and we are very thin in the field. But as young men and women who have been appointed to serve in the field, you have a very, very important role, because administration and the government coordination is a major component of any government. So this cadre is expected to play a very, very vital role in our management of this county. Unfortunately, as we laid the foundation for devolution in the last 5 or 6 years, I think this cadre of public servants have not been clearly informed what their role will be, what they are expected to do, how they are expected to be recruited, how they are expected to progress within the public service, and what their relationship with other departments and the headquarters is. Ideally, there should have been a scheme which clearly points out how do you become a ward administrator, what is the entry point, and what you need to basically have to qualify for that position, and how you progress from there. Unfortunately, what we did was to appoint this team and allow them to determine what they want to be. So I think the first thing we did was to imitate. Adopt some flashy names, either you are a DO or a DC. You even adopted the uniform of the national administration. So I think this team went to engage in imitation, because you wanted to be like the people you found in the field. But I want to assure you that our work is as different from those people as day is different from night. It's good that you have been informed that we have dropped the uniforms, because the uniform is a carryover from the colonial administration by what was previously called the provincial administration. And it has a very heavy control and security role in the public domain. And that's why they were given the uniform as a tool for intimidation and for forceful implementation of government policies. That's why the chiefs were very unpopular. And DCs were very powerful, whatever they were and whatever they were considered to be. But for us, as a grassroots organization, we will have a very strong bias for development. So yours will be to supervise government projects at the grassroots. Your second role will be to coordinate. Once we have developed enough structures at the grassroots level, and various departments will have come to the field at the sub-counties and in the wards, then yours will be to coordinate and provide leadership for the public servants who will come to the field. And the number three role, which we have not yet folded out or taken to the field, will be one of peace building and cohesion. Maybe that is the closest you will get to the role of chiefs and the sub-county administrators from the national government. Because while they will have a strong bias and emphasis for security and the control of populations, ours will be to build peace and the cohesion in the society. We will very soon take a bill to the Assembly so that we have an act which guides us on the structures needed to promote peace and cohesion, including elders committees in the field and in the wards and in the sub-counties, and the people who will work with you. The other role which we will have is to promote government policies and programs. Like, if we want to inform our policies, our decisions, our programs, and what we have, it will be your duty to go and inform the public through your interaction, either public baraza or town hall meetings or community meetings. It will be a role to go and inform the people what the center and the county government is doing. You will realize that to carry out these functions of development supervision, county government coordination, peace building and cohesion, and then the spread or the explanation to the public of our policies and programs will require a lot of skills, knowledge, understanding, and expertise to do. Unfortunately, my observations in the last 1 year is some of you are still jokers. You have political hangovers. And above all, many of you are not present in your stations in the woods. I know enough infrastructure has not been built to make you comfortable in the woods, but that does not take away your role and the need for you to be present in the woods. So some of you will not be with us anyway. I don't think you can live without the comfort of Garissa town. You are married here, you are comfortable here, you tell your stories in the hotels. I think you are too comfortable here. I don't think you can go and do for us anything in the field. Most probably you will not be with us. Maybe we will allow you to go and do your storytelling, and we will recruit others. But in order to support your work, we want to give you exposure. We will design training programs for you, both locally and wherever it can be found, so that you people have the necessary capacities to do the big roles which we expect you to make. But before we reach there, you need to undergo a very serious attitude change. one of understanding your work and thinking all the time about how you could do, even with limited skills and understanding and without the training, how you could do that job. Of course, it will be our part, our responsibility to explain to you what our expectations from you is. You are hearing the caution from the politicians, the MCS, because I'm aware many ward administrators think that the biggest achievement they can get is to become an MCA next time. I mean, we have absolutely no relationship with these people. You are not in competition in the field for the attention, the loyalty, or the organization at the grassroots level. In fact, your work should be complementary. And as they spend their time passing legislation and doing things here, you are the one on the grassroots. If you spend your time to undermine and promote yourself, then you have completely misunderstood what your role is and what your work is. If we hear that any ward administrator or sub-county administrator is remotely imagining or putting any effort to promote him or herself politically, you will have lost your job, you will no longer work for us. Because that's not our work. If you have been a former politician and you have been given a job either at the ward or the sub-county, then it is the time to forget about that past. And if you have any political intentions, then you come to us and you say, I am sorry, please give me a job related to politics so that I can politic. You should be more focused on how you could work for the government for the next 35 years. So we want complete separation from politics and our service to the public, because the minute you start fighting either MCS or MPs or senators or governors or whatever, the new people will have lost completely what your role is. And as important coordinators, as representatives of the governor in the grassroots, people can consider you as very powerful people. But sometimes they can be mistaken for me having planted you there to become my campaign manager or my MCA or what. I have not sent you for that job. I don't want to do any politics for me. I will know how to play my politics. Concentrate on your job, and we shall give you the capacity to do that job to the best of our ability and resources available. When it comes to our relationship with the national government has an important role. Of course, the Constitution had emphasized or imagined a situation where there will be no administration at the grassroots and everything will be devolved. Somehow the regional administration or the coordination role of the national government is still very strong in the field, with a strong bias for security. We need them to be there, let them do their job. It's good that the government is paying chiefs, sub-county administrators, sub-county commissioners, and is using national resources to pay them while they do a job for us. So we need them, you work with them. Compare notes. When it comes to supervision, we will expect the sub-county administrators at the end of every year, starting this December, to give us appraisal reports on the performance of the ward administrators. Of course, the chief officer will also be able to assess the performance of the sub-county administrators themselves, so that there is a clear record and a history of what you are. The most unfortunate thing which has happened is something called the parachuting in the public service. It means that all of you were appointed to the most senior position, what a ward administrator can be, what a sub-county administrator should be. The tragedy of that decision is you are going to remain in the same job group for the next 30 years. Ideally, somebody should have started somewhere, maybe get enough training, experience, and then maybe there's a scheme which will determine how you progress from point A to point B. If you do a good job, you are promoted. If you don't do, you stagnate. But now all of you have started from the most senior position which somebody can hold for the positions for which you are employed. That on our part requires that maybe we create a scheme which will determine different levels of what an award administrator can be. So maybe there can be a ward administrator a certain grade, then a third grade, or a fourth grade, so that is an entry point and some progression along the way, so that when you reach the most senior position, you know that you have worked for it as different. That might mean that maybe we may need to move some of you to senior positions in the headquarters to create room to implement that scheme in future. But the appointment of somebody to the most senior position in a scheme, I think, can be a very frustrating thing, and which does not create enough motivation for somebody to work. And in the process, expect a reward through promotion. But let me assure you that we are ready to work with you, we are ready to work through you, we are ready to support you. But you must demonstrate hard work, efficiency, commitment, loyalty, and the service to our people at the grassroots. We will expect you to write reports every end of the month on the happenings in your wards and in your sub-counties, so that we can know what has happened, what is it that persists and continues to happen every time, especially if it's a negative thing. You need to bring recommendations to us on how to solve some of the persistent problems existing in the wards or in the sub-counties. But we will let you know these things through interaction in future, and we will encourage you to learn as much as you can over the time you are with us. With those few remarks, I want to thank you. I want to thank our partners for supporting us, because at all levels we appreciate what you have done for the counties, and without that capacity building, without that support, without that training, I'm very sure there will have been no opportunity for us to come together and get knowledge or get understanding of what our roles are. So we appreciate for the input and the contribution of the organization. We will continue to work with you. If you think that there is anything we need to do better on how we work with you and how we partner with you, we will be available. With those few remarks, I would like to declare this workshop officially closed. And thank you very much. For the other languages, maybe I'll speak later.